Hello, hello, hello. It has been a while since I have streamed. It has been a while since I've made any content. But I'm back. I've been here. I've been, you know, doing my thing, living my life. Sorry I haven't been consistent lately. Just want to apologize for that. Looking at my channel, it grew a little bit. It had some growth. Got a lot of videos to look at and shorts, and it grew to 29 subscribers so far. And we're still growing. We could still grow. There's a lot of games out there, a lot of content to make. Today though, I'm gonna talk about a game that got it all started for me. Something I was playing to get content out there. And what I was doing is I was focusing on making content for new players, trying to, just tell them how to progress and how to play the game, what was what in the game, because they don't give you a good introduction to the game once you get started. And a lot of content creators aren't willing to go back and go to the basics. They just give you a build. They give you a rundown. Oh, you need to go do this dungeon or this raid to get this weapon. And then, you're there. But that's it. They tell you where to go. They tell you how to do the encounters. And that's it. They don't break down backwards. A lot changed with the character stats. A lot changed with our power. Weapons. We got a lot of different weapons. But with the new tier system and with the new portal system that they brought into the game, Destiny players have been dropping like flies. And it's not even close to what it was. So last night when I was on, I went to check to see how it is, and it was at 11,000 playing an hour from when I looked. Now it's only at 14,000 playing from when I last looked last night. But I say that to say that I went back all the way to October 2019 and started counting the dips in player counts. And the biggest dip I seen was back in November of 2019. It dropped 57,000 on the gain side of things, and that translated to down 35% of what it usually was. This doesn't account for console, but if it's down 35%, you can pretty much guarantee that the rest of consoles are down as well. But from that October time period, there was 4 months of just a steady decline in players. But the disheartening thing is the average amount of players. During that time, there were still 107,000 players. Currently, we are only our highest gain or loss is 44% in the past 4 months. And then our average players is now down to 13,000. So it's looking pretty bleak for this game. So if I do any content at all for this, it's just gonna be what I started doing this. I'm not gonna go into the new content. I'm not gonna try and justify anything on the new content. It is what it is at this point. I am not someone who is gonna sway your views, or if you want to go with the most popular streamers and they're saying the game sucks now or something, then you do what you got to do. Me personally, I got into this to show people and try and be that content creator that gave you the step by step of how to get through the content. How to break a solar shield, how to break, an arc shield, what kind of weapons to look for that. And I'm not gonna be no meta making content creator either. I'm gonna go with what I feel is working for me, what's easiest for a new player that's getting into the game, what's available at the tower to, if you jumped right in and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna try this game, that's what I'm gonna go by. But that's kind of where I'm at with Destiny. I kind of log in, I kind of look and see what's there is to do. Currently there's an event I'm not too interested in. Excuse me. It's still early in the day. I've been up since 8. That's gonna, kind of carry us into our next topic, and we'll get out of Destiny for now. But yeah, this is how it's been for me. I've tried to play the game, and I have not been able to. I have not been able to sit down and play the game. So I've begun to play a game that's been around for probably just as long or longer. And I'm gonna pull that up. Path of Exile. So Path of Exile has a strong amount of updates, a strong amount of developers that back their game, that communicate, that admit when they've done wrong, and the updates that they make to the game are completely night and day compared to what Destiny is. So if I'm going to be playing any game a lot, it's probably going to be this game. It's kind of one of those things, it's not broke. They don't got to fix anything. They just got to add on. And they've stuck to their guns for many, many years. And they've improved on some things. And they've dialed back on some nerfs. They've buffed things when they nerf things. So there's kind of that give and take for the gameplay with this. They listen to their players. They have frequent one-on-ones with like very popular streamers. They're not afraid to answer the hard questions. Grinding Gear Games, as a developer, as a studio, as a whatever, they've sucked me into their game because of how good and responsive they are. They release videos for updates on their content that's coming out. They go through the content. They show that they play the content, and then they admit when there's a problem or a bug in the game, and they fix that bug, and they focus on it, and they continue to communicate till they fix it, and it's fixed. They don't just address it one week and then don't address it again until it's fixed. They continually say they're working on things to know that, for us to know that they're working on it, and they know that it's not fixed. Gamers are wanting to be heard, and they understand that, so they address their faults. As far as the game and the depth of the game, it depends on the kind of build that you want to go with. Let's see, where do I go? From a basic standpoint, you have strength, intelligence, and dexterity for your character, and that's right here: intelligence, strength, and dexterity. Your life, your mana, energy shield, all that is determined by the gear you have and your skill points in your trees. And the higher level you are, and the higher gear you have, the better these numbers get, and the better your defense and resistances get. There's a lot of min maxing you can do, or there's just a certain route you can take and just pick that route. I am again. I'm not a pro, Path of Exile player, but I feel like I can go and do whatever kind of build I want to do. Let's go to that's what it was. P. This is the skill tree. Now, it's a very large skill tree. Very, very large. I mean, you start over here. This is where you start. And then you work your way through the skill tree, but as you can see, it has multiple paths that you can go, depending on the kind of character you want to build. So things like this down here, it's a minion mastery. You can create minions from different support gems. Now these gems go in your armor, they go in your weapons, they can go in your belt. There's all kinds of gear that you can collect and find the further you go into the game. This season they've even added another type of gear, and it's called a graft blood. This collects graft blood, and it can give you different abilities that you can use as part of your kit on top of the abilities that you get from your support gems. It's very in-depth, it's very rewarding, and it makes you want to keep learning the game because of how much there is. Like, currently I'm focusing on using totem. So what I'm doing is I'm building my tree to go towards the totem over here, this totem mastery. And you can get a critical strike chance for the totem. You can get a critical strike multiplier, and then eventually you can have additional buffs added to your totems. And then eventually, once you unlock all those nodes, you can go to the middle and pick only one, but you have multiple options to choose from this list of different abilities on here. Sorry, I'm reading and trying to talk at the same time. It does not work with me. I cannot multitask like that. Sorry. One day. But yeah, so skills that summon a totem have a 30% chance to summon two totems. So you can have two totems at a time instead of one. You get 5% of damage from hits is taken from your nearest totem's life before your character. 1% of physical attack damage dealt by your totem is leeched. Sorry. Time for another energy drink or something. As life. And then 60% increased global critical strike chance if summoned a totem recently. Now for this first, I'm probably going to go with either the two totems or the 60 increased global critical strike. Or, depending on the totem, it can taunt enemies for 1 second when summoned. So it'll kind of help you get out of a tight spot just to heal up or to refill your magic, just so you can do something. And sometimes you get stuck in between enemies. But I mean, that's just an example of one build. There's also another build where, like I said, you can use minions, or you can have there's abilities that come from gems, and they're called brands, and brands debuff or buff you, and you can have multiple brands going at a time depending on what nodes you pick. You can just focus on raw elemental damage. You can focus on having a shield or specifically using fire. there's different builds that you can go into or combine um, to give you uh, better boss damage, better ad clear, um, and it's just a very in-depth and rewarding experience when you play Path of Exile. So this is a game that I've been playing on the side that I haven't streamed just because I'm not very fluent in the game. So if someone asks a question, I don't really feel like I'd be able to explain well enough. I mean, even right now, I don't feel like I'm explaining it well, but it's just a quick rundown. And then there's multiple ways to get more effects. There's jewel sockets. Eventually, you start getting jewels to drop, and those jewels give you additional buffs or abilities or just things to make your character more powerful. And then eventually you get to a point in the game where you unlock an ascendancy class, and that ascendancy class has a small tree in it, but they're very powerful nodes that you can activate. For my character, it's a Templar, so once I get to that point, I'm gonna look into it and probably make another just video for Path of Exile, going in depth on what route I took, where I'm at as far as my character, and where I'm going with my ascendancy. I may even make multiple, because there's multiple ascendancies you can have, so I can have multiple Templars with different ascendancies focused on, and then to just swap gear in between, because I may not be using a certain ability that goes with a certain weapon or armor piece, but I can make another character, a Templar character, that can do that and just focus on that. But I mean, it's a very, very, I would say, good game. I would say it's a very good game, and it's worth trying. It's on PC, it's on console, and it's worth the learning curve to get in and learn. But you get a weapon, armor. You can have up to 2 rings, an amulet, and then as you progress through the game, you can have up to 6 of these links like this, and each gem ability can be buffed by another gem ability or feed off of an effect and make that effect stronger. So there's even ways to build your character based on the gems you're using. Something like this elemental proliferation support. It increases the duration of elemental effects, and then it has a chance to freeze, shock, or ignite depending on the element, which this one is gonna ignite because it's fire. So something like that is just a very, very basic example of a build you can do on your armor. Now this can go further, and you can have more links on something like a chest piece or a weapon, and you can link that with something else, like a ruthless support, and then, or where is it? Yeah, I would say the ruthless support could combine with something like this smite or ground slam or glacial hammer. I mean, in all reality, it should probably be here in the middle of these two. And then, so this ruthless support, every third attack with a melee attack deals a ruthless blow. Ruthless blows with supported skills deal 76% more melee damage, and ruthless bows with supported skills deal 76% more damage with ailments caused by melee hits. So, and overall, it just supports melee, strike, or slam skills. And every third time you use a supported attack, the use of that skill will be more powerful. So, there's also, I think, a part where it lets you hit faster. So you're activating that attack a lot faster. And leave a comment if that didn't make sense or you have more questions on that part of the video or the stream. I think I'm gonna just do a quick stream, just going through the games I'm playing right now today, just to get content out for you guys to kind of look at, see where I'm at. But that's Path of Exile. That's where I'm at. I'm not far in the game, but I plan to play that a little bit more. My next game that I've started playing is Borderlands 4. Now, Borderlands 4, I don't want to rush it. There's no content coming out as far as DLCs, probably till the beginning of 2026. So I don't want to rush this. I want to enjoy it. I want to have a... Why isn't it coming up? Let's just go to screen. All right. So I don't want to rush this game. Borderlands is one of those games where it can get very repetitive the more you play it. But I like Borderlands better than I like Destiny, I think. And the game just crashed. I've never had this game crash. I take that back. I was playing it and it crashed. But it's never crashed on opening up. So I blame the update. Let's see. So I'm gonna go and check something out. So Path of Exile currently sitting at 86,000 players. And then Path of Exile 2 is currently sitting at 14,000 players. So Path of Exile 2 is still in the beginning stages of the game. They're releasing content as they make it. But if you purchase early access, you have access to it to test it out, try it, give suggestions on things that need changing. And you're helping build the game. But Path of Exile is a full game. It's fully released. It's free to play. It's free to download. So that's another plus with that game, is it's a free to play game. Unlike Borderlands 4, it's a paid game, so you gotta pay to get it. And it's also on PC, Xbox. It's currently sitting at less players than Destiny, apparently. What's going on there? Oh no, okay. 2 hours ago, 8,000 players were playing. So less players are playing that than Destiny currently, which is wild to me. But I mean, like I said, the game can get repetitive. You rush through the content, you rush through playing it, and then you just get bored and you don't play it no more. And that's what happens with Borderlands when it just came out. So I mean, what do you expect? You rush through a game, you rush through the content, and then you're done after that. So I am currently just farming the game. Just seeing what weapons drop, seeing what drops where, learning the different weapons I can get, learning the characters, because all the characters have new abilities. And I'm just trying to have fun with it. I mean, there's no point to try and rush this. It's a Borderlands game. I still don't have a favorite character, but I mean, I'm having fun with all of them, really. I've made all of them but the big brute guy. Forgot his name. But it's a Borderlands game. It's got crazy weapons. This one's like a it's a shotgun, but grenade launcher slash, I don't know. It's a crazy gun, but it's one of my legendaries that I have right now, so that's all I got. And I'll probably die right here. Yeah. I mean, it's a Borderlands game. I don't have much to say on it. I will say though that there's a lot more to farm as far as bosses. And then, you know, it has your normal stuff over here. Where is that thing at though? I don't think I've done it yet. So once I complete this the first time, I can activate it and I can continuously farm it. But I have to complete the whole encounter without dying. So I just died, so I have to start it all over. But usually what I do is I'll farm this, you know, certain encounter, see what weapons drop, see if it's anything stronger than what I currently have. Like this is stronger than this gun, but will it be stronger than my other gun? No. So this gun is still stronger. So. This is why I'm still stuck here on this character. She's, I don't know, the build I have going on her is not the greatest. And the guns I have are not the greatest either. But I'm just trying to learn her abilities and get some better guns. So I'm just playing on her. And pro tip, as you kill and get guns, collect the guns, sell them at the vendor that you don't need. Whatever you don't need, sell them at the vendor. And then that's how you are able to farm multiple times by just selling the guns you don't need. Because some of these are worth like 10,000 or something like that. That's not a good example. Well, that's not a good example either. Okay, well, there's none on the ground right now. But I mean, this is the gameplay loop. This is what a Borderlands game is. I think the biggest complaint in the community right now, though, is that the legendary drop rates are very, very low compared to, you know, we had just mounds and mounds of legendaries in Borderlands 3. So, oh, I'm gonna die again. Yep. Now they made the drop rates like very, very scarce, and people are complaining because the drop rates are like 2% or 3% for some bosses. So we're in the hundreds to 500s of farming for just one drop of a certain weapon. Like, you'll get a legendary drop, but it'll be a world drop. Something that you're not looking for, basically. And people are complaining. So, like, let's see. Yeah, so this is like $2 grand. So like $2 will add up real quick when you have multiple weapons dropping like that. You sell them to the vendor. Once we complete this, there will be a similar display, but it'll be for the bosses that are over here, and it'll spawn right outside the area. You pay to reset, and then you get to farm it again. And you just keep doing that and keep selling the weapons, and that's how you get multiple runs. But with this game, there's no, like, Borderlands 4 specifically, there's no specific drops that you can get early on that you can just start farming, except for in the very first boss, that are good. So you have to take, like, kind of crappy weapons and build yourself up to find good weapons, which is hard because in the beginning I was just looking for something that does damage to kind of melt enemies and hope for a drop. And now it's kind of to the point where, like, I got this high damage dealing weapon right here, but it has to charge up for me to shoot it. And I don't like these kinds of guns where you charge it up. I want to be able to just shoot. But it's stronger when you charge it up. If you just shoot it, it doesn't do as much damage. So it's kind of a pain. Like, we'll see right here. Like, that took a while for the health to go down, but when you charge it, it does bigger chunks. It just feels hard to control. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Man, I'm down again. I mean, I'm sure she's a good character, like, once you build her up, but I just don't feel like there's anything that makes her feel strong in her kit. Her pets, I don't like using the pets, and then this thing right here is supposed to do something, but it just feels underwhelming right now. I don't have enough points in my tree for it to feel powerful. I mean, I can't even finish this encounter that's right here because she just keeps dying. Like, the gear I have is just not good. Could be a skill issue, but I mean, you can't really have any skill if you're not alive and the gear you have isn't really doing damage. It just takes forever to kill stuff. They'll kill me before I kill them. This one's a little bit better. It's a Jacob's weapon, the assault rifle. It just hits a little bit harder, it's a little bit faster. Oh my gosh, I'm getting just, my shields, man, are just getting eaten. And now the bosses spawn. This area is harder because of the shields they have. It is really hard to get rid of their shields. So you need a corrosive weapon for these shields, but I mean, I have yet to find a good corrosive weapon. And one of these guys is really fast, and then the other one is like super, I don't know. So the last time I beat this, I ran over here and just let them come to me. Let my special reload. And I'm out of ammo. Back to this crap. I mean, that just does nothing to him. Nothing. I don't feel like her ability does anything. Like, I could throw this at him, and I threw 3 of those bombs or whatever they are at him, and it didn't do nothing. I just don't understand her ability. We have a new weapon type, the ordnance.
This'll be easy.
So that's what that is. And just walked right into that like a dummy. Of course he gets in the way. But yeah, I mean, I'll play this for a little bit and then I'll hop on to something else. The leveling in this game is a lot harder than the other ones. So like,
It's gotta be permanent at some point, right?
I just have to really be in the mood to play it. But I like the game. It's just one of those things. It's kind of frustrating to build up a character and get stronger. And then, like I said, the legendaries, which are the better weapons, the stronger weapons, they're like a dime a dozen if I'm lucky. So it's just a pain. Be right back. All right. So yeah, Borderlands 4, Path of Exile. What else have I played? Oh yeah, Magic the Gathering. Magic has been a game that's very near and dear to me. It It's not broke. They don't change anything. They don't take away anything. They just change up different effects that cards have for different sets. Recently, I built a deck, and I called it Dark Tides. It's a mono black deck. Now, to use cards, you have to have this mana right here. And what happens is it shuffles everything up for you. You pick the cards, you pick the effects you want. And if you look at the top of this card that I'm highlighted above right here, there is a mana symbol. It's one mana symbol. So I need one of these to play that card in my hand. And then if we go to this next section, I need any color mana and one of those, but it costs 2. Same thing here. I need 2 of any color mana, but it costs 3 total. So anytime you see one mana symbol, it counts as 1. And then anytime you see a number, you add that number plus the mana symbols you see. So for instance, this is 4 of any color plus 2, so that's 6 total mana you need to use these. Now the way the cards work changes based on what the text is. Under that picture, there is a box. It tells you about the card and what the card does. And there's different types of cards that you have. You have a sorcery card. This is a card you use on your turn only. You also have an instant card. That is a card you can use at any point, whether it's your turn, your opponent's turn. And then you have creatures. Creatures have different effects, have different abilities on the cards. You have artifacts. Artifacts can have different abilities and uses. This one, for example, causes all my spells to cost 1 less to cast. So instead of this costing 3, it costs 4. Or instead of this costing 4, the 2 colorless and the 2 black, it costs 3 now because we subtract one of the colorless away. And the same goes here. Instead of 6, it costs 5, and instead of 5, it costs 4. So, and then so on and so on. In addition, this card, I have multiple of it because if a creature of my opponent's dies, it gets exiled instead, and it gets saved under this artifact. And then in addition to that, I can cast that card with any color mana, and it gets 2 additional counters on it, which will raise its power. So let's say my opponent had this card and I destroy it, it gets exiled under my artifact. I can now use my opponent's card by paying the 4 and the 2 black, tap this artifact, bring this out, and it will be a 4/4 instead of a 2/2. So it's going to be stronger when I bring it out. And that's just a basic rundown of what a card can do. So we'll go and get into a match and just kind of show the walkthrough of the gameplay of a Magic game. I may win, I may lose. It's a 50-50. It's not the best deck, but it overall focuses on attacking my opponent's cards in their hand to where they can't use them, and then using their creatures as well based on that artifact that I discussed. And then I have things of my own that I can use to get more mana if I need it, or if I draw the mana I need, I can just look at their hand, see what's in their hand, what kind of strategy they're going with, and this will allow me to make them discard a non-creature or non-land card from their hand. Sometimes people see cards like this and they don't like to play against it, so they'll just quit. And I have a lot of cards like this, so it kind of gets in their head and they're just like, I don't want to deal with this. You kind of psych them out, and you know, they'll just quit because they're like, I don't even want to deal with this match. So we'll auto pay. He has this. This will cause him to discard 4 cards from his deck and put a card that's a creature into his hand. But we're going to take that ability away from him by making him put it in his graveyard. So what I can do now is either bring out a creature, or I can bring more land out, which is what I'm going to do, so I can use these cards in my hand. So what I'll do is swamp cycle. What happens is this goes to my graveyard, and then I get to pick a swamp from my deck and put it into my hand for my next turns. You really want to make sure you hit your land drops, or else you're going to be in a tight spot. So what we'll do here, we'll bring this guy out, and he's another one of those cards that attacks their hand. If I was bringing this out after I dealt damage, I could have picked the card that he puts out into the deck. So we want to disrupt his strategy. So I'm going to get rid of his creature. This card allowed him to put additional lands. You usually only can put 1 land at a time, but because of this card that he had, he would be able to put 2 out at a time. And in addition to that, he would be able to discard a card from his deck, which it looks like his deck plays around that a lot. So we kind of want to interrupt that strategy so we can get our strategy going. And we're really just a beat down deck, but we also capitalize off of stuff in his deck as well. So now we can bring this guy out. He loses 2 life and exiles the top 3 cards, and now we can really just start digging into his life points. Next turn I can activate, which that's fine. This turn I can activate his ability, and then I'll sacrifice this creature, make him stronger, and then I can bring him back because he only costs 2 to bring back. And then I could do it again because I have the mana to make him a little bit stronger again. So now I can attack with all of these, and this should be close to lethal or lethal. So he's only at 1 life point now, and what we're gonna do? Oh no! Oh no! Okay, this might not be good. he might kill one of my creatures, or he might... he just knows what's in my hand now. Okay, so he wiped the board, and he's doing some crazy stuff right now. Oh, and this guy's back, and there goes my card that I had. Now that card makes me round my life total down. So, as you can see, this game was highly in my favor for all the way up till that moment. He played this card. He was able to cast this card from his hand without paying for it because of this card. Now, he was able to cast, what was it? These two cards, and because of these cards' effects, he was able to bring back this card, he was able to cast this card, and then he was able to bring out this card and take my creature and flip the game to win. So sometimes you're gonna have games like that in Magic where you're about to win and this opponent has no way of surviving. They have one card in their hand or nothing in their hand, and it just flipped the game on you. But sometimes that happens for you as well. Like you're down to one card. Like this card could have been the card I needed, and I could have turned the game back in my favor, or I could have extended an extra turn. No matter what, this game is his. I lost. I lost fair and square. He just happened to draw a card he needed, and he had this card, and those two cards alone turned the game around for him. So I'm just gonna make him wait, just cause, make him sweat, make him think I got something. But no, yeah, he definitely got his game, and that was a very good play, because he had this card and then this card together. So yeah, I mean, good game, man. That was a really cool deck. Yeah, you know, good job. That's a cool deck, man. I don't know what the hell you had in that deck, but yeah. So that's Magic in a nutshell. Sometimes you win them, sometimes you lose them. Unfortunately, that time I lost. But I mean, you win them, you lose them. It's still a fun game, and I mean, you can get packs in the game just like you get in real life. You can either spend money to get these, or you can play and build up your points or your coins. And once you have enough coins, you can buy a pack, see what you get, make a deck based off of a card you find that you really like or you think is really cool. And that's what I did with that deck. I mean, I hadn't got whooped that bad in a while. So today's the first day that I got on after making this deck. I mean, I'm making it seem like a big deal, but I made it yesterday, just sitting here putting those cards together, and I was winning, you know, winning half of the games I was playing. It's about winning so you can get the coins to buy the packs, but I mean, at the end of the day, you don't really lose anything, and sometimes they just come out on top with better cards. This is another deck I built over here. We'll play that deck. just to kind of show the different types of decks you can make. Which one's the one I like best though? We'll go in here and then play the game. So this deck is built around getting out big creatures as fast as possible. And then I have multiple of this card. It's a dinosaur dragon. And he can either give me a dinosaur creature or a treasure token based on the cards that he reveals from the top of my deck. Now, these cards are revealed and you can either play them and pay for them to play, or you can just choose to not play them. If the deck is working correctly and goes in my favor, I will have a turn 1 with a land and maybe one of these bushwhacks to give me another land. And then as long as I have red mana and green mana, I will be able to use this card, or this guy. He allows me to play additional lands. And then I can look at the top 6 cards of my library with his ability. And then as long as I have a lot of land, I can put it on the battlefield. So I would have to have at least 5 lands to put him out, or 6 lands to put him out without paying his mana. Or, I mean, I'd still have to pay the mana of his ability, but if I'm paying 6 and I have like 8 or 9, I could put out any of these creatures or, anything. And then as long as things go right, I can use this card, and it allows me to create a token of a card. But if I play the kit cost, which is 5 plus 4 for the card, which is 9 mana total, that's why I'm trying to get as much mana as possible, I can either make copies of this card. I can make copies of this card. I can make copies of this card to gain life. This card. What else? This card, and it gives me extra mana to use. As long as it's just not a legendary creature, this card. This has protection to where they have to pay 3 on top of the card that they're trying to use against him, and he's just a big body. Or this card. No, I can't do that card. He's a legendary. I mean, that's the basic idea of the deck, but the biggest thing is trying to get out a big creature as fast as possible, and then just kind of run over my opponent, and then he can just continually give me creatures or treasure tokens. Excuse me. And the treasure tokens count as basically mana, so it's additional mana to use to cast my cards. So this is like the first deck I built. And then after that, I started going crazy and making additional decks like that. I don't think this is one of them. This is not one of them. Let's see. Is this one of them? No, this is a different one. Is it this one? Yeah, so this one was I think I was having trouble getting all the mana I needed. So this one I made just a 2-color deck. And it doesn't have the multiplying aspect to make additional. It's just the green and red and trying to get mana out as fast as possible, but it has a lot of different abilities built into the deck. So and this one I pretty much made to be like a competitive deck, because I have like different cards over here that I can use. Just for different decks that I'd run into. But we'll do this one because it's a 2-color deck and it's easier to get fixing. But this one's fun too because of the multiplying the different creatures. So we'll do the green one, the mean green first, and then we'll do the Jurassic Park second. And then we'll go from there. So we'll go mean green, play, and then we'll see how this goes. But Magic's one of those games that's like it's like a comfort game. You know, I can sit and play it. I can lose, you know, back to back, but I can go back and make a different deck, and then I end up winning just based on that. So usually these kind of cards that tap when you enter, you want to get those out when you don't have anything you can play right away, because you want to use your cards that don't enter tapped. Oh, the corgi. We'll go with the corgi first. Actually, we can go with both. Alright. Get some defenses on the board. You never know what's going to come out. Got a blue deck. Alright. Let's change up the strategy. We're gonna try and get some more mana out. Go ahead and take action. Get another red mana. And then we'll attack with our little mouse. This guy kind of looks like 11 from Stranger Things. I keep looking at it and think I'm looking at 11. I also did a binge watch of all the seasons in preparation for the new season. see. So we're gonna go ahead and cast this. And then, as long as he doesn't have anything to deal with my creatures that are coming out, we are gonna have some big creatures. We'll keep that because we might need that. Let's go ahead and get rid of this while we can. That thing will probably get big. We'll bring him out. And we'll bring the pup. 2/2. And recruit 4. We'll tap him to attack. And yeah. Like I said, we want to get as much mana out as possible to try and be ready for whatever this guy's gonna cook up. I really hate it because there's such a wide field of games right now to play, and as much as I love playing Magic, I just feel like I'm missing out, you know, and playing Magic all day and not, you know, going into something like Path of Exile and moving forward in my character and building my character because I'm having so much fun playing Magic. So it's at that point it's just like an internal battle of deciding, do I want to play Magic or do I want to play Path of Exile or Borderlands? Or, I mean, it's a good problem to have because there's multiple games. Like before these games came out, it was just Destiny. And as most of you who will see this, if y'all get this far in the video, there's not a whole lot going on in Destiny, unfortunately. And it's a game that had a chokehold on a lot of people for years. For me, it started getting bad because I didn't have anyone to play in raids or dungeons with. I mean, I have yet to beat some of the dungeons and raids that recently came out. Which is unfortunate. Because Destiny has a lot of potential. It just doesn't have that same vibe anymore. It's more like a job chore kind of thing than being able to have fun. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna look at my top 3 cards in my deck and see what I can find. Dang. Do I want that, or do I want to just continue to? I can cast this before I can cast that. So sometimes you want to make a decision based on your current board state, and as of right now, my current board state is I cannot cast that creature that came up as much as I would have wanted to bring it out. There's no way of me getting that creature out right now. So this card right here is pretty cool because it allows me to reuse this ability that says exhaust on the bottom of the card. This card has an exhaust ability. So this would continuously be able to create a token and put a 1+1/+1 counter on him because of this card. But we're gonna bring this out first. And we're gonna attack with these two, force the block to get damage through. And this is where we at the last game. But like I said, there's always something that can turn a game around. I don't know if he has it. Yeah, he didn't have nothing in hand. So there you go. There's a win. You lose one, you win one, and you know the next one we may lose, we may win. There's no way of telling. But that's the whole thing with Magic. It's a very strategy-based game. If you're a chess player, it's similar to chess in how you put the pieces in your deck and in what order you get them. So it's kind of like you're getting a... No, well, that sucks. So it's kind of like you're looking for, you know, that king or queen or that bishop or that knight to make your next move. You may really need your knight right away, but you don't have your knight. You have just pawns and, you know, a bishop, or pawns and a rook. So you may not like that because you don't have access to all your tools right away, but your tools are in your deck and they're there. It's just, are you going to be able to get to them in time to get your strategy going? If you're a chess player, that's the best way I can explain Magic for you. Now, if you're not much of a card or tabletop game player, then it might take a little bit. It's kind of like Uno, maybe. Uno, you get random cards and you might have, you know, a bunch of draw fours to put your opponents behind and you win. Or it may be like you're down to that last card and you're going to use it your next turn and someone has something to make you mess up your strategy. It's kind of Uno based too. But there's different, you know, things that can just completely turn the tides, like that first game I did. And we'll do one more Magic game before we go on to the next discussion of games that I've been playing. And I kind of saved this one for last because this one's kind of in the spot that Destiny's in. It's a game that recently came out and wasn't well received. A lot of people had a lot of negative things to say about it, just based on looks, based on content that shipped out with the game. Some people think that they shipped it that way because they put the rest of the content in the DLC that's coming out later. So it's let me get a mountain. It sucks because I was excited for the game, and then it's one of those things where like you see the feedback and you know, opinions of other people, and you're just like, it didn't ruin the game for me, but it's just like, you know, it's kind of cool when everyone's excited for the same game or excited to see what the game has. And I mean, people were just dogging this game like day one. I mean, they turned the game on and saw, and they're just like dogging the game. And I'm just like, you gotta kind of play the game and get through the game before you give an opinion or a critique. That's how it's always been. And I mean, people were just dogging the game, how it looked, the background, the way the models looked. They were saying it looked like a game that came out years ago, and I mean, they just were dragging it through the dirt, which is very unfortunate because, like I said, I really like the game. And we'll start some. Oh, yeah, we definitely need to get some momentum going. I didn't realize he had that many creatures. But this last game we won't be able to play on stream. Unfortunately, I don't have a capture card. It is on the Switch. But myself personally, I've enjoyed the game. My wife's been giving me a hard time because I haven't been playing it like nonstop. But I mean, it's like I've been saying the whole stream. There's so many games out right now that to not play a game is like you're missing out. What does this guy got going on? Somebody stop him. Let's take this one out. Yeah, they have first strike. I'm gonna take them out. 0. And then I don't want to attack. I'm just gonna hold back. Oh, they all got +1 counters. Don't you leave my card alone, you son of a gun. Oh, freaking A. Alright, this card is a pain. And I mean a pain in the butt. Dude, that's game. This card, man. This card, man. Ah. Alright. So before I end this. So this card says at the beginning of combat on your turn. That means every turn you get after this card comes out, put X +1 counters on each creature you control, where X is this creature's power. And what's this creature's base power? I don't even know. But every turn that passes that this card is on the field, you better kill that card. Because that card is, it's a 14/15 and it just came out. Gets out of control. This is from one of the new sets. Let me just end this so I can show you the set. So, we just started the game. Did no damage. And he already won. This is the kind of stuff I'm talking about with Magic, man. It's like a win-lose, win-lose, win-lose. Like, you really got to be strategic with the decks you build, because if you have only 1 or 2 strategies in your deck and you can't answer something like that right away, you're screwed, as you saw. These sets are also in paper Magic. So, matter of fact, I haven't even seen any of these sets. I haven't seen this set or Edge of Eternity's in store at all. But that card alone is worth getting these new sets. And I was out at the stores today, did not see any of these sets out. I only saw the old sets that came out. I don't even know what I'm doing right now because that irritates me. Alright, so packs. Okay, so yeah, it's from Edge of Eternities. This is what the pack looks like. So if you're at your local Target, Walmart, maybe Costco or Sam's will have a bundle or something. This Edge of Eternity set has that card in there. So that alone is a chase card. Gosh, man, that was... I hate seeing that card. I completely spaced out. But yeah, I digress. But that's Magic. That's, you know, you win some, you lose some. What else can I say about Magic? It's I got introduced to Magic by a friend of mine, a real good friend of mine, and after that I started watching competitive Magic because it was kind of blowing up to where there was something called a Pro Tour. It was, you know, competitions in person. It wasn't on it wasn't like Arena. It was paper Magic. So like the packs you buy in stores, you buy them and then you can, you know, get whatever from them. I might have at my local store, I might have these new sets. I might have to make a trip to my local Walmart. That game really worked me up, I'm not gonna lie. And you're gonna have those games where you think you're. I didn't think I was gonna win that game, but I didn't think it was gonna be over that quick because he had a lot of creatures on board. He was continually putting stuff out, but he wasn't attacking. So I should have known he was putting up a defense till he got what he needed. So it happens. It happens. But it's a really fun game. I mean, I've been playing it for years, almost as long as I've been playing Destiny, I would say. And I always go back to Magic. I'm not as hesitant to go back to Magic as I am hesitant to go back to playing Destiny currently. And they have a Star Wars themed DLC coming out. And I like Star Wars. I'm not a huge fan of Star Wars, but I like Star Wars. And not even that's like really making me want to be like, oh man, I can't wait for that DLC to come out, because it just looks like more of the same. And they took away a lot of good stuff that was in the game, and they have not brought back in any way or form. But they keep bringing back some other stuff that nobody really asked for. So yeah, that's kind of where Destiny's at. But I'll check it out. I'll check it out. I will get on and I'll check it out when it's released in December. But that's really what I'm playing right now, honestly, is those games. And I haven't figured out how to make some content for you guys as far as videos and stuff, because I mean, how do you narrow down Magic? How do you narrow down, you know, Path of Exile when it's such a big game? Or Borderlands is pretty straightforward. I mean, the only thing I've done with Borderlands is I've kind of just shown the locations of different world bosses. I'll figure something out for you guys to kind of watch and just look over. But my biggest thing is, and that I want y'all to take away from this stream, if you've gotten this far, if you know, fast forward to the end to see, you know, how it ends. My biggest thing is I'm still here. I'm still looking to make content. I'm still looking to, you know, keep my channel growing. I'm still looking to stream. It's just, it's been kind of hard balancing, I guess, because there's stuff I got to focus on outside of streaming and outside of making videos. Gotta help with things at work. I gotta help with things at home. And I have literally like no script to what I can do for streaming. And days like this, I'm just kind of, you know, kind of scatterbrained, jumping on games like what I just did. I mean, this is what I've been doing since I haven't been streaming. It's just kind of jumping between games, because it's just upsetting that a game that I played for the past 10 years is really at the point where it's like, is it really over for that game? Like, are they really letting it go to crap the way they are? And by that game, I mean Destiny, because there's so much potential in it, and there's just so many losses that it's come across, between layoffs at the company, between lawsuits for art, for other projects, uh, as well as lawsuits for Destiny because of the same thing. Um, I kind of stayed away from all that negative stuff, but seeing all that stuff add up at once because of one game that's currently in development, and it's like they should have never gone through with it. And that's just my opinion. I mean, some people were open to, oh yeah, that's great, yay. Um, but in the back of my head, I knew that it was just going to take away from what Destiny has been for the past few years, and it's showing now. And I mean, it's really really showing. Uh, the events, they've changed up. The Halloween event got changed up, and not even that was like something that excited me to play the game every day. The weapons didn't excite me. Um, they have a new event out now. It doesn't excite me, and it's just like, I go in the game and try and figure out, okay, do I want to look at a build and make a build? And then it's just like, at the end of it all, it's just like, I don't feel like continuing to play, because I go into the portal and look at what I want to do, and I'm forced to play at a higher level than what I want to play at. As we'll just go in and I'll show you, and we'll end on this. We'll end it where we started, and just kind of, I don't know, maybe it'll be apparent, from jumping from game to game, between Magic, Path of Exile, and Borderlands. I didn't even go into the skill tree on Borderlands, but there is multiple skill trees for each character. I didn't even pick a good character to kind of show Borderlands. So maybe I'll do some streams on Borderlands for different characters. Maybe that'll be my first starting point. But we'll go and hop in Destiny real quick, so I can make it make sense. But when I started Destiny 1, I started playing as a Titan, and then I started playing as a Warlock. So here's my Titan, and here's my Hunter, and here's my Warlock. So one of the things that it has going for it, not to justify the game or anything to anybody, over the years, I've collected armors, and they introduced transmog or whatever, to where you can lock a look. And this kind of goes back to another game I used to play, DC Universe Online. Buddy of mine I worked with, he introduced the game to me. He was like, "Hey man, try this game. It's on PlayStation." And he was always like, "Lock in your look." And I was like, "What?" And that's what he meant. He meant lock in what armor and your look was, because you're going to be changing your armor throughout the game, which is what I've been doing with Destiny. I've been changing my armor throughout the game, but I always go back to this whatever, cosmetic I play with. So I try and keep that cosmetic look throughout the gear that I get. It'll be a different physical piece, but what's shown is what you see right here. This is the look I have for my Titan. And when we'll hop on my Titan. When the Guardian games came out, I was excited because of that look. that look that I have right now. Um, you know, this lion helmet and this lion chest piece, and it was almost like a gladiator-esque look. And then I just started playing with shaders and colors. Um, I mean, you can get some really menacing looking shaders and colors on this helmet. You know what I mean? I think that looks pretty cool. And as time went on, I started realizing that people were liking my looks. People were liking the looks I had. They were giving me what is called a commendation for best dressed, and they would, give me a little medal for best dressed in the fire team or whatever. And I thought that was cool. I was like, hell yeah, I got a good look for my Titan now. This is what I'm sticking with, and I've stuck with this for ever since I unlocked it. And the point of all that is, I had something to chase. I was doing activities to unlock this Guardian game gear. And I was excited to play. I was excited to get in because I wanted to unlock this gear before the event was over. I had FOMO, but not FOMO to the point where I was just paralyzed and couldn't do anything. Where I'm at now with the game is I don't care if I miss out. I don't care if I missed out on the Halloween event and the weapons that dropped. I got maybe a few weapons from it. But at the end of the day, it's just like, it doesn't matter, because there's no guarantee that this game is going to be relevant for much longer. I just don't see a light at the end of the tunnel for where the game is currently, and a lot of people have the same sentiment. And it's because of this. This portal forces you to play something like this exotic mission that's new. Go to customize, you can't customize it. But let's say I finished that, or even there's a, where is it? Oh, okay, here we go. It's forcing me to play at a 400 light level. Now, granted, I am at 400, but the way this mission is set up now is set up in the way that I was doing runs of this mission in like maybe 20-30 minutes. If I go in there now, not with this character, but if I go in there now with like my warlock, it's gonna take a long time. I just don't feel like it's going to be a quick run. I mean, I'm gonna be sitting in there for almost an hour. And I can sit in there for an hour, but do I want to? Do I want to be stuck on one thing for an hour just for maybe getting something? I mean, the gear that drops from that mission is kind of outclassed already. I haven't played it recently, but anything that can drop from that mission isn't going to be as good as what everyone is using. And it's just, it says there's matchmaking on all this, which is fine. But before, there was no matchmaking and you were just going in by yourself. You can't even customize the new mission. You have to do it by yourself. You have a dungeon that is built for fire teams, and that doesn't have matchmaking. So where do you go? You hope that you can go into this built-in fire team finder to find a group, right? So we'll go to dungeon. We'll go to, oh wait. Okay. I was gonna say, they don't even have, but this is all you got. You got 2 different groups looking for someone. And you better know what you're doing in the activity, because there's no mic. They won't have a mic, and they're playing on consoles. So you better hope they're in game chat, because if they're not in game chat, they can't hear you. Or you better hope they have a Discord group that you can join on your computer, because they have yet to figure out a way for us to cross-platform communicate aside from game chat, or adding something into the game for that. There was a point in time where Starcross was the only thing, and thankfully they've added multiple missions now. But in the time that I stopped playing, there was only 6 different activities to play. It looks like they got more. Something like Onslaught, no matchmaking. No matchmaking. So you're now relying on a player base that's dying to be able to do something like the exotic mission or the dungeon or even raids. They don't even have raids in the portal aside from the current raid. And even then, you have to go to the portal to get to that. It's like they're relying on a soft sunset of the game till they can catch up to what the community is currently doing. I have yet to do this raid. I have not done this raid because I don't have a group of people that are playing that will show me how to play. And on top of that, I'm relying on streamers opening up a random, group for people to learn to play. But by the time I get in there to try and get in, there's multiple people in front of me to even play. So as a solo player, there's no matchmaking for group activities that require teams. They introduced a really good activity that teaches you a dungeon and did not implement it into the new DLC. They just introduced it for a short period of time, and then they were like, "All right, here's Edge of Fate." Didn't use that system that they had in Rite of the Nine, where it taught you the dungeon or the encounters. So like they have ideas and they're able to do something, but they didn't put it in any of the new content. It's almost like they should have put all of that, the Rite of the Nine and the Edge of Fate, into one. That way they could have introduced that new system they had for the dungeon to teach you, and they could have had it in the new raid that came out once everyone beat it. But that's just too much, I guess. They just have so much content that's being wasted here, and then they're throwing all, like, they're just throwing stuff. They're just throwing stuff out here, hoping that people will play it. And then the new stuff that they have, there's no matchmaking to play it. So I'm not going to be able to play it because I can't solo anything because I haven't been playing the game. And the only matchmaking they have is on old content. But nobody wants to play the old content. They want to play the new one, but there's no matchmaking for the new stuff. It just doesn't make sense. So ultimately I choose not to play the game because of that, because there's no player base, there's no matchmaking in the new content, and it just makes it hard to complete activities and get caught up to the current player base because I don't have people to play the game with, and they don't have a player base because of their failure to add solo player, not friendly, but solo player, I guess I'll use the word solo player friendly systems to party up to get content complete. And even when I message these people, they're like, he's playing a strike and he's just sitting in orbit. Like, what are the chances they're gonna team up? They're obviously not looking to do anything relevant that I'm interested in doing because they've either done it or they don't know how to do it. And that's a whole nother topic, is we're stuck watching YouTube videos to learn how to do stuff because there's no matchmaking for people that do know how to do stuff for people who don't know how to learn from or don't have access to people that know what to do to teach them. Instead, we're sitting on YouTube trying to learn it and trying to do it, but we don't have people to do it with because there's no people to play. I mean, this game has so much potential, but if there's no player base and there's no people to play with, then what are you, like, what's the point? What's the point of sticking around and playing it? I mean, I've literally sat in here and done nothing because nothing incentivizes me to play the game. Like, just looking at this portal is just, it just gets this event. I mean, sure, it's a tier 5. You know, tier 5 is the new, you know, thing. the weapons. But I just don't care to grind for it. I mean, this ends in 19 days, and I can't even get through a full day of trying to do any of this content because I just don't want to. Or don't feel like I'll be rewarded for the time I spend in it. It's just annoying. But that's neither here nor there. Not gonna start today trying to figure out what I want to do. I have over 1,000 hours in this game, and they aren't giving me any reason to go past that. But I think that's where I'll end the stream today. See if I hop on tomorrow. Maybe I'll hop on later in the night. Overall, I'm just kind of in the brainstorming process. So the takeaway, be patient with me. I'm working on getting some more content out on some of these games that I'm playing currently. Maybe I'll do a video for Magic, walking through the different types of cards and me building a deck. Or maybe I'll do a Borderlands, walking through the different trees and unlocking more of the trees. Get more abilities for my Borderlands characters. Path of Exile. Path of Exile is one I'm still tackling for myself before I can even tackle to kind of teach or show anyone. And that's Path of Exile 1 and 2. Maybe I'll hop in DC Universe, and I never played it on PC. I played it on PlayStation, so maybe I'll do that on PC and kind of dip my toe in there. But that's one of those things that's like playing, Pokemon or Magic. You dip your toe in it, and you're like spending money month to month on that. So it's kind of why I've stayed away from that one for a while. And I don't really know how the memberships or anything works anymore, because before you had to pay money just to get the new content every time it dropped. So you were either buying the DLC or paying a monthly subscription. So that's the other thing that's going to determine what route I go on with the DC Online. And then Arc Raiders is out. I know about that game. Eventually, maybe I'll get into that. Maybe I'll play. I won't. I won't be playing any Battlefield on PC. The anti-cheat programming thing that they got, I'm not jumping into that. I'm not messing with my PC. I'm sorry. I'm not messing with my PC just to play Battlefield. I'll play it on console, but again, I don't have capture card for any of that. So till I get a capture card for my Switch and for my what's it called? Rhymes with innuendo. In my Switch, my Switch and my Xbox and my PS5. Yeah, I don't have a capture card for any of those consoles. So I know there's capture cards that can be interchanged between them, but I just don't have one. So till I get one, won't be having any of that Switch content. Um, if I was to get a capture card, then I would be playing Pokemon Legends Arceus. I've heard that game is really good. I myself, like I was saying, the game I was talking about earlier was Pokemon Legends ZA. I enjoyed the gameplay, I enjoyed it, but that's because I didn't play Legends Arceus first, and a lot of people are complaining because they thought it was going to be like Arceus, and it wasn't. Just to give a quick rundown, your only location currently is in a city, and it's a streamlined, campaign-ish kind of game. It's a very long intro tutorial that pushed people away. The way the battles are not the way the battles were in the originals games, like turn-based. It's more of like a Kingdom Hearts kind of battle is the way I would think of it. If you played Kingdom Hearts, that's the way the battles work for Pokemon Legends ZA, and not a lot of people like that. And I myself didn't mind it because it kind of gives that emergence of like being in the anime and you're like a trainer and you've got your Pokemon fighting for you. And there's cool little moves where you can call your Pokemon back and it can dodge an attack when you call it back and put it, send another Pokemon out. And sometimes if you time it right, it's kind of cool. So yeah, I've really been enjoying the Pokemon game. I beat the game. Haven't caught all the legendaries. There is legendaries in the game that you can catch. And that was cool to catch them. I've actually only caught one. I was working on the second one, but I couldn't figure out where to find him, or how to make him appear. So I probably need to work on that off stream. Other than that, I mean, that's really it. I mean, if you made it this far, hey, I appreciate you. And if I'm just talking to myself the whole time and no one watched it this far, then that's okay too. But yeah, leave a like, leave some comments, give me some feedback. For the people that joined during the stream, I appreciate you guys. Thank you. But I will get the content that I need out. Just give me a few days. I'll start working on something today, figure out what I want to do in each game, and go from there. But it's most likely going to be either Magic, Path of Exile, or Borderlands. And if at some point I decide to get Arc Raiders, it'll be Arc Raiders. I'll be doing a stream for Arc Raiders. But other than that, that's the only other new game I'd probably hop into. And then if I get a capture card, then I'll probably do another playthrough of Pokemon Legends ZA till I get Legends Arceus, and that's probably not going to be till after Christmas. So, because I'll be doing a capture card probably in Arceus to stream playing Arceus for the first time. But yeah, other than that, thank you for everybody that follows. Thank you guys for everything. Just seeing those numbers go up little by little, it's nice. Thank you for watching the content, for watching the shorts. Thank you for the comments you guys leave. I appreciate you guys. And until next time, I will catch y'all later.